has taken over.
Let's go.
It's Ferrall.
Coast to coast. Steaks, chicks, stacks. You and I are going to make a lot of money.
It's Ferrall, coast to coast.
So I've known the Prime Minister for about 16 years, and Morency too. And I know Morency knew me a lot longer than that from his days in LA when I was doing Ferrall on the Bench in LA on the radio. So those are my dudes. Happy birthday, Gabe. You're the man, brother. Spark City out in Vancouver. Have an excellent day and birthday, and have at it, son. I'm a big fan of yours. So, Carver High, I can't wait 8 minutes to turn on the Yankees. I will suffer through another 7.5 minutes of the Metropolitans in honor of the Schmoozer and your boy Mafia, the only two Mets fans I know on the face of the earth. I can't stand either one.
Wow, the only two. How about that? Listen, it's almost over. You get nasty Nestor Cortez and Robbie Ray coming up in a few minutes. More from last night in Major League Baseball. How about the Orioles, Scotty? They do it again after a lengthy rain delay. They were down 5-4 to the Jays in the bottom of the 8th inning at Camden Yards. Rugi Odor, that's right, the two-run go-ahead homer on Masson. Here we go.
Odor.
No.
Deep right field. Rougned Odor's redemption tour continues.
I almost fell over watching him hit a home run. I had to get washed off right there. That guy, Rugi, are you kidding me? Remember when he played with the Yankees?
Yeah, I remember when he played with the Yankees. Amazing. Orioles, like we mentioned, now right there. They are a half game out of the last wild card spot. Very much in the mix in the American League. The Blue Jays, Scotty, signed Jackie Bradley Jr. After the Red Sox released him. It's always, yes, go ahead. You can get the first crack at this. Go ahead.
I mean, honest to Christ. Honest to Christ. I cannot keep up with all of the moron decisions that are made by these guys that run baseball teams. Why would you ever pick up Ernest and Julio Gallo, and then to top it off, we don't even make it a week, and the Jays decide it's a good idea to pick up Jackie Bradley Jr.? He literally hasn't had a hit in Major League Baseball in like 5 years. He is the worst batter ever. I mean, honestly, I'll give him this. He's got speed. He can catch a fly ball. So, Ferrall what? And they say the same thing about Gallo all the time. He's got a great arm out in the outfield. Whatever. If you can't hit a $150, go to hell. Jackie Bradley Jr. should not be a Major League Baseball player. The guy hits a buck. I mean, it's embarrassing. Why would you put a... Robbie Cano hasn't had a hit in 5 years since he got off the juice. People keep signing him. I mean, It's unbelievable to me. I would no more put that Jackie Bradley in my lineup. If every guy on the team was dying of COVID, I still wouldn't play him. I mean it. I mean it.
Well, I just can never understand. You got a team in your own division who's in last place that releases a guy. Like, they don't want him. They're in last place. They can't win games. And you go and pick them up. Like, I don't know. I get trying to give, maybe strike a little lightning in a bottle or something. And sometimes it just makes no sense at all. Speaking of the Red Sox, Scotty, last night against the Braves, it was a wild one at Fenway. A 9-7 win for the Braves. Big night for Austin Riley, Scotty. He had an RBI triple. He had a home run, 3-run homer, and he also had this in the 11th, putting him ahead for good on Bally Sports South.
Here to load him up when he brings the infield in.
Line drive, base hit, Braves lead. Here comes Ronald, they're going to wave him. Here comes the throw, wide turn. The throw is going to be laid. What a great slide. What a great slide by Acuna.
That was unbelievable. Watch how much he has to move here, BJ, on this replay. He comes around third base. Ron Washington had no thought of stopping him at all. and he has to go from outside the third baseline to cut back inside.
Notice how they beat everybody but the Mets, the Braves. They beat up everybody. We welcome our radio affiliates, Sirius Channel 159, Sports Map, and Sports Byline USA.
Yep, you're right about that. They're beating everybody except the New York Mets, who they lost 4 out of 5 to over the weekend. The Phillies beat the Marlins last night 4-1. Phillies have won 6 in a row now, Scotty. They are starting to hit the baseball, including JT Realmuto on NBC Sports Philadelphia.
That is a towering shot deep down the left field line toward the pole. Gone! A home run for JT. The Phillies take a 2-1 lead. You want to be just like JT, you got to hit it 409 feet.
You know, Jody McDonald told us the other day, Realmuto started hitting, Castellano started hitting, Schwarbaum's been hitting home runs. They've done all this without Bryce Harper, who's still 3 weeks away. But now they have pitching to go with it. Thor on top of, Wheeler and Nola, Gibson, Suarez. Suarez won the other night. This is a tough team. This is an upset type team, a playoff upset team.
61-48 now, the Phillies. And most importantly, Scotty, let's get them over 84.5. That's what we really care about, getting the Phillies over 84.5.
They can do that.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 800-268-1371. That's 800-268-1371. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
I lost my motivation. I was feeling old and starting to look it. And then, voila. I feel better than I did in my 20s. If you feel stuck and you can't find the drive, it may be due to low HGH, which naturally drops with age.
Your growth hormone levels start declining in your 20s, but GF9's lab-tested, patented formula is designed to boost GH levels naturally by up to 682%. Growth hormone is associated with reduced body fat, increased lean muscle, improved energy, mood, and more. And best of all, GF9 has been shown to work in as little as 2 hours.
I've taken a million different supplements. This is the first one that I've noticed has made a tremendous difference.
To me, GF9 is the best supplement out on the market.
GF9 is a top-selling male performance product at GNC. Call right now to try GF9 for 60 days absolutely risk-free.
Call 1-800-795-9129 or go to getgf9.com.
Join us. Get your drive back, get your youth back, and get back in the game with GF9.
This is a paid advertisement for legal services. Attention. From 1953 to 1987, veterans and civilians were potentially exposed to toxic chemicals in the drinking water at Camp Lejeune. Exposure to these chemicals increases the risk for cancer and other health problems. If you or a loved one were diagnosed with a serious illness after being exposed to contaminated water at Camp Lejeune, you may be entitled to compensation.
Call Sokolov Law now at 1-800-327-4629. That's 1-800-327-4629.
You heard a screech outside at night, but you can't see what it is because there's not enough light. You need the Bionic Floodlight from Bell & Howell, the solar-powered motion-activated multi-directional floodlight, the versatile wireless, safety, security, and outdoor lifestyle light you'll love. And right now, it's yours for just $29.99, and the shipping is free. Order now, and we'll send a second Bionic Floodlight. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-604-7066 or order online at bionicfloodlight.com.
History.
M's and Yankees are underway in the Pacific Northwest, Carver High. I have that game on now. I've rid myself of Mafia's Mets.
Yeah, I still have the Cubbies on the big screen here with me in the studio. I have the Yankees, about 6 miles away from me here over at the Versa. I can see them in the distance, so I'll be able to squint and see what's going on in the Yankee game during the break.
You should be on every
That's
TV
for sure.
monitor in there. How's that sound for an idea?
The Royals and the White Sox.
Who's running that TV remote in there? They got to get rid of that guy, honestly. They got to get Carver High up on every one of those TVs in that goddamn bar. I mean, somebody snapped to it over there. I don't care what you think of me either. I threw all kinds of money at you people when I was there. Trust me, God. I tip better than everybody. Don't even talk to me. Turn Carver High on the TVs.
Royals and the White Sox split a doubleheader in Kansas City yesterday, and quite honestly, with what the White Sox are trying to do, that's just not good enough. White Sox need to be taking both ends of doubleheaders against the Royals if they're trying to win the AL Central. But in the second game, Scotty, they did win. Yoan Moncada, a moonshot on NBC Sports Chicago.
More often than you would think. That ball's hit well by Moncada to right center field toward the alleyway, and Yoan gets it up and out. Man, he has tattooed some baseballs today, and he gives the Sox the lead 2-1. And another Sox fan has a souvenir in Kansas City.
Yeah, the two White Sox fans that are at the game.
The whole place is taken over. I mean, come on.
Like, honestly. What about their injuries, though? Like, they've had, literally, is it true? Like, they've had more injuries. They've had it in every single region of the body after Anderson hurt his left hand and wrist. They've had, like, 53 guys on the IL with injuries of every single body part. Is that true?
So this is over. I did a little bit more digging on this. This is over the last 365 days, so a full calendar year. The White Sox have had all of those games lost on the IL, and every single body part has now been touched on all the White Sox players. So if you took like the skeleton, Scotty, and you went to all of it, you could name a player pretty much on every bone and joint and part that the White Sox have had. That was a nice note that you sent me after Tim Anderson went on the IL. After serving his suspension, he's going to be out for a little while. The Guardians
how about
beat
this?
the
Hold this.
Yes.
Timeout. I got 6.
You got 5 left.
What a weird, not injury, but what a weird season that Tim Anderson has had.
Yes.
From the Donaldson racism, that took about 2 weeks. And then now he's busted his hand. And, it really has been bizarre. From a guy calling him, Jackie on the base pass to now being out for 6 weeks. I mean, it's basically been a bizarre lost season.
And that kind of compounds what's gone on with the White Sox this year, right? I mean, because you can make an argument. Now, people will probably say that, Abreu's their best quote-unquote hitter or their best power hitter. I think their best all-around player in the lineup every day is Tim Anderson. He does everything.
Yeah.
He can field. He can hit. He runs for, he can hit for power occasionally. He hits for average. He's good on the bases. He is their best all-around player. And you mentioned there's just been a lot of things that have gone on this year with him, and he's been out of the lineup a lot, which is part of the reason why you can look to that. Maybe is what's gone wrong with the White Sox this year. Even though it's been a lot of things, you kind of center it with what Tim Anderson has done. The Guardians beat the Tigers 5-2 last night. Shane, don't call me Justin Bieber, pitched well for them. Astros beat the Rangers 7-5. Rangers came out last night, Scotty. They were on fire. Simeon hit a homer to lead off the game. Seager had a homer to put them up 4-0. But the Astros came all the way back. Kyle Tucker finished him off for good on AT&T Sportsnet Southwest.
That ball hit to left field, hit well, all the way back and off the top of the wall. King Tuck with an RBI double at 7-5. He's refreshed.
Listen, that was highly unfortunate because I was up 4-0 in that game and I went for it on the bet with Martin Perez. It didn't come to fruition. Going back to the White Sox, the one last thing I'm going to put a nail in the coffin. There's only roughly 8 weeks left of the season because they play into the first week of October this year, right? So it's already August 11th tomorrow. So he's going to be out 6-7 weeks. At best, Anderson is back for the last 2 weeks of the season. My guess is that that'll be too late if they're in some kind of situation like they've been in right now. 2 back, 3 back, now they're 1.5 back. They are going to have to earn a playoff berth by winning the division. They're 2.5 back in a wild card, and they're going to have to do it without Tim Anderson.
They certainly are. And look, it's like, how do they not? Like, the Twins aren't, pulling away from anybody. The Guardians are the Guardians. How do they not win? It still would be a massive disappointment if they didn't end up winning that division. Despite all this, and despite being 500 for the better part of the entire season, it still would be a disappointment if they didn't get it done at this point, as far as I'm concerned.
And,
they're the better team.
And Bruce
by
Levine
miles.
had it best. They have the best pitching, and they just don't get it done. And he says Lance Lynn has been turning it around. No, he hasn't.
Yeah, he is.
No,
not
he
good.
hasn't.
He is not. He wasn't good yesterday in that first game. Royals
He's
beat him in the
fat
first game
and
yesterday.
awful this year. Fat, awful, and injured is no way to go through life, young man.
Fat, can't have it. Not a good scene for the Cardinals in Denver last night, Scotty. They lost to the Rockies 16-5, snapping their 7-game winning streak. It was over early in this one. Randall Grichuk, facing his former team, he put the icing on the cake in the bottom of the 3rd inning with a 3-run homer on AT&T Sportsnet Mountain.
Oh boy, this ball's catered to center field by Grichuk. This one could fly, it will. 3-run jack for Randall Grichuk against his former club. 12-0 Colorado.
Well, there you go. Crazy things happen out there. I have no remorse, no regrets. Another day, another death. After the Cardinals swept the Yankees, I wish nothing but ill will towards all of them.
The Diamondbacks beat the Pirates again last night, 6-4. Pirates did try to come back. Chavis had a couple of homers for the Buccos, Scotty. But once again, for the second day in a row, Ketel Marte makes his way to Coast, the RBI single on Bally Sports Arizona.
3-2 on Ketel Marte. Up the middle and throw into center. He's done it again. Perdomo scores. Rojas right behind. Ketel Marte makes it 4-1 Diamondbacks.
All right, let's establish this. You've got the Marte Parte, and then you've got Ketel Chips. We are not going to have chips, 2 Marte Partes. No. We got Ketel Chips. No one turns down Kettle Chips. They're the greatest. No. I don't know. It's the extra oil. I don't know. They're so crispy.
Nobody turns him down, including Max Muncy, Scotty. Let's squeeze this in before you get to DeCourcy. Dodgers beat the Twins 10-3 last night. Your boy Max is back on Sportsnet LA.
Muncy straightens this one out. Deep right center field. Gone. Max Muncy coming along.
I mean, that is crazy. He's having an awful year, and all of a sudden he's lit it up. All right. They don't lose. All they do is win every night. I bet against him tonight, though. The Stones I got.
He's got a couple homers now, a bunch of them in the last 2 weeks. I think we might have to start adding him to the tater list, Scotty. We might have to get Max Muncy back in the mix. I know he's hitting a $135, starting to hit the long ball. We got tickets to cash. Let's go.
Listen, I'm sick of them winning every single game they play.
They never lose.
Okay?
Are you over 50? Would you like to get up to 33% more income in retirement? Then call now for this free book, Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers, from a leading financial firm on maximizing your income in retirement. That's right, free. This free book reveals little-known secrets about annuity strategies in simple-to-understand terms that will help you make the right choices before buying an annuity. And it's free. Call right now for your free book, and as a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched over 1,200 annuities and summarized the rates and benefits of annuities from financially strong insurers. Again, that's Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers and a free annuity rate report, both absolutely free, for calling Annuity General today. Supplies are limited. Call now.
Call 800-830-7360. That's 800-830-7360.
Have you ever felt leg pain, restlessness, cramps, tingling, swelling, numbness, itchiness, or coldness? Then you need the new, clinically proven Legzercise Pro, the natural circulation booster that uses continuous automatic leg movement to soothe pain and promote healthy circulation the natural drug-free way.
After using Legzercise for a week, I felt like I wanted to go for a walk again without pain like I used to.
Legzercise Pro's patented walking simulator propulsion technology moves your feet back and forth along its concave track, creating constant movement and flex at both the knee and ankle joints. It's like having a physical therapist right in your own home.
It's helped with the swelling and the pain. The tingling feeling is gone.
Call right now and order your very own Legzercise Pro, the clinically proven automatic leg mover that soothes pain and naturally promotes healthy circulation. Call now.
Non-attorney spokesperson. This is a paid advertisement for legal services sponsored by Nightline Legal. Cases assigned on a random basis to participating law firms.
Attention parents. If your child was born premature and later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, also known as NEC, call right now. You may be entitled to financial compensation. Certain types of baby formulas have been linked to an increased risk of newborns developing NEC, a severe and potentially fatal intestinal illness that oftentimes requires surgery. If your child was born premature or at a low birth weight and later diagnosed with necrotizing enterocolitis, the baby formula your child was fed may be to blame, and you may be entitled to significant compensation from the manufacturer. Call right now to find out if you qualify. Don't be a victim. Get the help you deserve. There are time deadlines to file a claim, so don't wait. Call right now.
Call 1-800-958-5083. That's 1-800-958-5083.
How lucky we are to have the great Mike DeCourcy every week on Sports Grid TV and Coast to Coast. This very show, every week, you get the sporting news, one and only Mike DeCourcy. And Mike, I want to start with your great article this week on Steve Sarkisian, because there was, certainly a lot of hype when he got the gig in Austin. And then they lost a lot of close games in his first year. And, I think I would agree with you that, at some level, all that matters is that the guy landed Arch Manning. I don't even care what they do this year. This guy landed the greatest fish in the ocean, and that kid's going to play football in Austin, Texas for the Longhorns. And when they go to the SEC, he's going to be like a junior and a senior for 2 years playing in the SEC. Steve Sarkisian, I believe, will be playing for a national championship by then.
That's the hope. That's the plan. And it's interesting that after, and one wonders if it's because he committed to Texas and not one of the obvious established powers. I realize Texas is a historic power, but it has not been great for more than a decade. Maybe that's why there's starting to be, at least from one or two people who are college recruiting analysts, a little bit of backlash about Arch. There's some feeling Look, I haven't seen him play, and I'm not sure that I 100% know what to look for if I did. I've never evaluated a high school quarterback relative to his college and pro future. But I have seen some pushback that if his name weren't Manning, he would not necessarily be the number one prospect in all of high school football. Now, that's a fairly rare opinion. Most of what's out there is he is really extraordinary. But he's coming in to a program that that has a lot that really needs work. Defensively, they were a disaster a year ago, so they need to make big improvement on that side of the ball. But they've got a lot of really good skill players already in place. You're talking about Bijan Robinson, a terrific running back. If anybody who watched any college football last year saw what he's capable of, he can be exceptional. He may become the first college back taken in the draft when he's ready to go. And then they brought in a kid named Quinn Ewers for this season, who coming out of high school was basically Arch Manning without the name Arch Manning. He signed a $500,000 NIL deal, went to Ohio State, but he wasn't ready as a freshman. They already had terrific quarterback in place. And so he, after a year there, decided to go back to Texas where they needed a quarterback. They'd lost theirs from a year ago and try to win the starting job. Now, he's got some competition from a young man named Hudson Card. But if Ewers becomes the player that he was projected to be out of high school, then he could start this year, next year when Arch is a freshman, and then Arch could be set up to take over as an experienced redshirt freshman in the subsequent season.
I mean, that kid is so good, Arch Manning, allegedly, that I cannot even fathom that he's not going to start the minute he gets there, and that'll be the end of Quinn Ewers.
That's very possible, and that may be what we're looking at relative to when he arrives. If he is what he's projected to be, then he may go ahead and grab that job. But we still have to see what kind of season Ewers delivers this year. What if he goes 9-3 or 10-2? I think they're starting 1-1 because they have to play Alabama in their second game, and I don't think they're ready for that. But they could do well in the Big 12 this year. Oklahoma's still in a little bit of transition, new coach, all that. There's some very good teams in the Big 12, but no one that's a superpower. So maybe they could do really well with that offense. Now, again, like I said, the defense, an absolute disaster a year ago. It could not have been worse. But there's a feeling that with what you have relative to experience in the system, they have a defensive coordinator. It would have been easy for Texas to say, you know what, our defense stunk. We're going to fire the DC. We're going to move on. Instead, they said, hey, okay, our defense stunk, but if we fire the DC, we're starting all over again. And everybody's got a year of experience now in this gentleman's system. So let's see if we can make it work.
So they have decided to play the Big 12 title game at Jerry's World until 25, and that's when Oklahoma and Texas are leaving. What do you think becomes of the Big 12 instead of having Texas and Oklahoma? What do you think it'll be like by then in terms of because they're going to play there until 25? I mean, people are already writing the conference off. I'm not sure that's the smartest thing I've ever heard of. There's people writing off the ACC, that they don't matter, and that Notre Dame's going to end up in the Big Ten. How do you think it all plays out when Texas leaves with Oklahoma? Will the conference disintegrate?
No. They're actually in decent position now because with the Big Ten deciding, reportedly, and there's still nothing official, with the Big Ten deciding to not sign a contract with ESPN, or I guess ESPN not meeting the price that the Big Ten wanted for its rights, for a share of its rights, that now the Big 12, ESPN has with the Big 12 and the Pac-12 some bandwidth to try to go to work and try to do new deals with them. Now, if you look at the Big 12, it is not a super brand name conference. They don't have one program to hang everything on, or two like they had with Texas and Oklahoma. But they still have some really good established programs that have good followings. Texas Tech, Iowa State, Oklahoma State. They're all drawing 60, 70,000 people, maybe 80 in some cases. You have the growing popularity of the Cincinnati Bearcats. You have the potential of Houston and Central Florida. You have BYU, which has a national following because of its circumstance. So there's a lot there to sell. I don't think it's as much as the Pac-12 has to sell, but the Pac-12 peril is that they have two members who are still really attractive as a package in Washington and Oregon, and they also have in Stanford a team that would be a good match if Notre Dame were eventually to join a league. So there's that uncertainty about what the Pac-12 will be in future years that might be holding it back a little bit. If they all got together and said they were going to stay together 5-7 years, I think that there's a lot of money out there for the Pac-12. I just don't know if they can all agree to that.
Mike, you and I have covered college sports since before Christ, and I always considered them student athletes. Now that they're professional athletes and these NIL deals, you talked about a kid signing for $500,000 to go to Ohio State. SMU said they're going to pay their football and basketball players $36,000 this week. How do you feel about what it's done to college athletics? Because frankly, as far as I'm concerned, it's ruined it.
I'll be honest. It doesn't bother me, Scott. At least not in its current state. I think that
why go to class?
They still have to be students. That part of it hasn't gone away. You still have to be a student, and that doesn't necessarily mean going to class in 2022.
Yeah.
Because we have the remote option for so many. It does at a few places. Notre Dame, they still are making you get up and go. But everybody's got to be a student. And so that part of it I'm glad has not gone away, mostly for the athletes, because that is a privilege and an opportunity for them that remains, it's a challenge for the average citizen to pay for a 4-year college degree. Here it is for free if you play football or hoops. It's still a great deal. And then you add on the fact that you can make some money off your autograph or doing a car deal, or if you can run a business, if you happen to be someone that is entrepreneurial. And we've had athletes in the past who had those qualities, but had to sort of set them aside, or had to tweak it so that they weren't really associating with their sport. There was a kicker at Central Florida who wandered over that line a little bit and got a lot of heck from the NCAA a few years back. That stuff's gone, and college athletics is much better for it. The immediate transfer exception, I think, is the thing that is really bothering college sports fans, because you can go and transfer from one Division I school to the other and be immediately eligible. It's worked out for some athletes. Jamison Williams last year at Alabama, perfect example. He was stacked up, even though he was one of the greatest wide receivers in the country. He was stacked up behind an army of great wide receivers at Ohio State, transfers to the #1 program in college football at Alabama, becomes an All-American. That's great, but there's not that many Jamison Williams stories. There's too many stories of guys who transfer because they haven't played enough, and then they go somewhere else and they don't play enough. And before, the coaches had to be really invested to take a transfer because you had to sit them out for a year. Now you don't.
Like Quinn Ewers, he transferred with his $500,000 to Austin. He'll play 1 year and then he'll get benched for a freshman and never see the field again. He'll transfer again to Hamtramck Tech. How about the kid at Auburn? He got a deal to sell clothes on Amazon. He's entrepreneurial. He's going to make a fortune. And in honor of that, he went out to celebrate. And he was last seen trying to elude the police in Auburn, Alabama. So sometimes you give these kids money, you never know what's going to happen. I know what happens when I give my kid money. I don't see him for a week. Mike, my man.
Thanks, Scott.
With Life Alert, one touch of a button can get you help fast.
I've fallen and I can't get up.
Don't worry, help is on the way.
With any of Life Alert's 3 emergency systems, help can be summoned immediately, and batteries never need charging.
I was having a stroke, and I was scared to death.
If it weren't for Life Alert, I wouldn't be sitting here today.
Life Alert is a lifesaver.
My husband is alive because of Life Alert.
Life Alert is the lifesaver to keep me out of assisted living.
Life Alert saves a life every 11 minutes.
For a free Life Alert brochure, call 1-800-609-5506. That's 1-800-609-5506. Call now. 1-800-609-5506.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or been diagnosed with another asbestos-related cancer, call now. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be able to receive compensation without ever going to court or filing a lawsuit. Thousands of hardworking men and women have been diagnosed with mesothelioma because manufacturers put profits ahead of safety. Manufacturers knew the risks of asbestos exposure for years, but knowingly manufactured and sold deadly asbestos-containing materials, putting millions of American workers at risk. These manufacturers have tried to avoid compensating their victims, but the courts have ordered them to set aside an estimated $30 billion in trust money for the victims of asbestos. Call now to see if you're entitled to a portion of the $30 billion. You could receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 800-268-1371. That's 800-268-1371. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson. Are you over the age of 50 and considering buying an annuity in the next 60 days? I have some important news for you. Don't buy an annuity until you understand the pros and cons of annuities. Call now for this free book on maximizing your income in retirement. Annuity Do's and Don'ts for Baby Boomers from leading financial firm J.D. Mellberg. That's right, free. This book reveals little-known truths about annuities in simple-to-understand terms. Grab a pen right now, because we're about to offer you this free book that unlocks the 5 little-known truths we believe baby boomers and seniors should know before buying an annuity, and it's free. Call 800-273-2815. As a bonus, we'll also throw in a free annuity rate report. We researched numerous products and summarized rates and benefits of annuities, all from Silac Insurance Company. Call 800-273-2815. That's 800-273-2815. Call now.
Activity.
Wow, there's all kinds of drama today in baseball. Carver High is going to tell you about. I want to tell you about our social media. You got to follow us at SportsGrid and at SportsGrid TV. Get all the skinny, the scoop, the odds, the ins, the outs, everything you need to know to have the edge. You got to beat the book, right? We're here to help you. Just follow us at SportsGrid and SportsGrid TV. You'll be good to go. All right, what happened in Detroit?
Okay, we'll go there first. The Tigers fire their general manager and vice president, Al Avila, after 22 years with the team. So see you later. Done an awful job, so what's the difference? See you later, Al. There's the door. Have fun. Out in Detroit, Scotty. There you go.
I mean, they're awful. So, and it never gets better. So I don't understand. This is not shocking to me. Their development, their farm system, their draft picks. What do they do right? I mean, it is a joke baseball team. Yeah. They're awful. I bet against them every night. I mean, literally. I can't even. I bet on them tonight. I almost fell over when I just saw that. That I would bet on them one night a week is a miracle.
Wow. I mean, the statement was like, it was like 50,000 words. I mean, you need that much to say about firing a guy? I mean, how about just looking at the record the last 7 years? Why don't we just look at that? Maybe that's enough reason why the guy got fired.
Or how about the last 22 years?
Exactly. Well, look, they had a stretch there where they were very good. Now, they never got it done. They made a bunch of World Series over that stretch. They lost to the Giants. They lost to the Cardinals. They lost, they lost a bunch of World Series that they made, but that was over 10 years ago. That hasn't been recently. They've been awful recently, real bad.
That's the 80s.
Well, no, they had since Miggy's been there, they've had a couple World Series appearances. They lost to the Cards. They lost to the Giants. That year they beat the Yankees when Jeter broke his ankle out there at shortstop in the ALCS.
That didn't count.
They've had their years, but they never got it done at the end. So just unlucky for them. Let's go. Tonight's games will start in Philadelphia between the Marlins and the Phillies. We mentioned Alcantara goes for them tonight. Noah Syndergaard gets the start for Philadelphia. Minus 122 for them. Marlins plus 104. Total of 7.
Yeah, I still bet on the Phillies the way they're playing over Alcantara. I'm just going to take it. Philadelphia's just been playing too good for me. They got Thor going. I'm going to go under here and the Phillies again, and they stay hot.
The Blue Jays and the Orioles again at Camden tonight. Orioles, of course, have won the last 2 nights. Jose Berrios goes against Kramer, minus 148. Blue Jays are the road favorite. Giving you the Orioles at plus money at home again tonight, plus 124, total of 9.
Would you like a little dash of Kramer with your coffee? Yes, I would, thank you.
Yes.
Give me the Orioles and coffee Kramer over Berrios and the Jays tonight at Camden. And I look at that game. It's going to be so close. I'm going to go over, though. Berrios gives up too many runs for me, despite his good record.
I like the over there tonight as well. Braves and the Red Sox again at Fenway. Kyle Wright and Nick Pivetta. Braves the road favorite, minus 158, plus 134 for the Sox. Total of 9 tonight. I like the over there as well.
Yeah, over in the sandbox, and I'm on the Braves again. The Red Sox stink. Wright's 13-5. I'm not going against that under any circumstances.
Detroit hosts the Guards tonight after getting rid of Avila. Savale goes for Cleveland. They're minus 180 road favorites. Hutchinson for the Tigers. Total of 8 in this one.
Yeah, I think Cleveland's pitcher tonight stinks as much as the Detroit pitcher. They get rid of Avila. Why not? I'm taking a flyer on Hutchinson. He gives up 2 less runs a game than Savali. I'm going Tigers here, but again, over.
White Sox and Royals, after splitting the doubleheader yesterday, they're at it again tonight at Kauffman. Cueto and Bubic are the starters, minus 146. Sox the road favorite, plus $124 for the Royals, 8.5 the total.
Yeah, I'm on Cueto here, and I don't think the Royals are going to score a lot of runs. I'm going to take the under. Bubic might be able to keep them to 5 runs. It's going to be really close. That's about what he gives up per. Give me Cueto and the White Sox and the under.
Justin Verlander for the Astros at Minute Maid tonight against the Rangers. They have, of course, the C Auto on the mound, minus 335 heavy lumber for the Stros, plus 270 for the Rangers, 7.5 the total.
Yeah, I like the over. I think the Astros are going to beat Otto up. He'll leave the game. Verlander won't give up more than a run, 2 max. But I think Houston bats tear up Texas tonight. I'm all over the Astros and the over.
The Rocky Bats tore up the Cardinals last night. Tonight, Jose Quintana will get the ball for them. Kyle Freeland goes for the Rockies. Cardinals the road favorite, minus 162, plus $136 for Colorado. Hefty total tonight, 12.5 out at Coors Field.
Yeah, I'm on the under here. Now, let me explain. Now, Quintana looked really good in his first start for the Cardinals, but that was at Busch. I think the left-hander struggles tonight in the thin air in Denver. I think the balls, they're not going to be flying over the fence. I think this is going to be a good game, low scoring. Give me the under. I'm going to take Freeland and the Rockies tonight, high risk.
Oh, how about that? The Buccos out in the desert again against the Diamondbacks. They're looking to get off the deck after losing the last couple of nights. They've got Helen Keller going against Madison Bumgarner, minus 154 for the Diamondbacks, plus $130 for the Buccos, total of 8.
Yeah, I'm over the 8, and I'm on Mad Bum and the D-backs to sweep the Bucks.
And finally tonight, we have the Twins and the Dodgers out in Los Angeles. The Dodgers won last night. They don't lose very often, let's be fair. Sonny Gray goes for the Twins. PPI goes for the Dodgers, minus 178 for them. Total of 9 tonight.
That's what I used to tell my mommy when I was a little boy. I had to take a PPI. All I know is I'm betting against him. I'm taking Sonny Gray and the Twins tonight in an upset at the Ravine.
There you go. That is your night, Scotty, in Major League Baseball. And the under for that one, too. There you go. Going to the 9th in Milwaukee, 3-2 Rays lead the Brewers. The Cubs scored 4 in the 7th to take a 4-2 lead over the Nationals out at Wrigley. Sweet. They're in the top of the 8th now. Giants have a 1-0 lead over the Padres. A J.D. Davis home run for them. Angels and A's scoreless in the 5th. Yankees and Mariners scoreless in the 3rd in Seattle. Only final, Mets beat the Reds 10-2, Scotty, from your afternoon
And the Rays are up
games.
on the Brewers 3-2.
Yes, mentioned that. Ray, they're going to the top of the 9th now in Milwaukee. So last chance saloon coming up for the Brewers. There you go. Let's get into some NFL. Lot to do here for the rest of Coast to Coast involving the football, Scotty. We will start. Yesterday, they had the big introduction. All the owners were together in Minneapolis to announce Rob Walton as the new owner of the Broncos. So, of course, we had to go and grab Roger Goodell and talk to him about Deshaun Watson. We know the deal last week. 6 games, appealed. We're waiting to see what the next steps are going to be, which we know is going to be probably a full year handed down. Goodell says that's what the evidence calls for, Scotty, at least a 1-year suspension for Deshaun Watson. Here's the commish.
Why the league opted to appeal the Deshaun Watson decision and why you opted to go back to seeking a full year suspension?
Well, as you know, it's part of the CBA. The two parties had that right. Either party could certainly challenge and appeal that, and that was something that we thought was our right to do, as well as the NFLPA, and we decided it was the right thing to do.
Why go back to seeking the full year suspension?
Because we've seen the evidence. She was very clear about the evidence. She reinforced the evidence that there was multiple violations here, and they were egregious, and it was predatory behavior. Those are things that we felt, we always felt were really important for us to address in a way that's responsible.
I mean, we've all figured this out already, right? They want him gone for a year, and they want him fined all kinds of money. And this is about CBAs and lawyers now and judges and arguing and never agreeing on literally anything, including whether it's sunny or partly cloudy.
And here's the next thing that's been thrown into this, Scotty. The Browns just announced within the last hour that Deshaun Watson's going to start their preseason game on Friday night, that he is going to play. Now, because it's 6 games as of right now, he's allowed to play. Any kind of suspension that a guy has in a regular season that's not the entire year, you are allowed to participate in preseason games. But if the next ruling comes down in the next 48 hours and it is a full year, he would then not be allowed to play in that game on Friday night. So a little bit of a situation for the preseason game. Not that it matters, we know, but nobody has seen Deshaun Watson, Scotty, on an actual NFL field in a long time, and that was looming for Friday night if it's allowed to happen.
Well, what could be worse for Browns fans than to get de-teased by him playing in a preseason game? That's like going out with the hottest chick and you finally get her to go out with you and you're about to score and then she slams the door on you and you drive home, and have nightmares and get nothing out of it. They're going to get nothing out of this. He can play preseason all he wants. Who cares? It doesn't matter. It doesn't count. It won't count. So when they go rocking and rolling in week 1 and he's not on the field for a year, then what are you going to do? Talk about your pipe dream preseason win you had? It's embarrassing. Yeah. Why even play him? The guy could break his leg. You'd lose him then. Either way, What if he wins and only has 6 and the guy gets injured? I think it's stupid.
As we always advocate here on Coast to Coast, you should never play any of your players that actually matter
Ever.
in preseason games ever, because only bad things can happen in those situations, as we know. One more thing from that press conference yesterday. Now, Rob Walton is a very wealthy man, Scotty. As we mentioned, he's worth like $56 billion with the Walmart stuff. Now, how much football does he actually know? My guess from this opening comment yesterday is not a lot, even though he now owns the Broncos. Here's Goodell introducing the new Bronco owner.
So, Rob, I'll hand it off to you. Congratulations.
Thank you. You bet. Thank you, everybody. It's great to see you today, and I'd like to thank Roger Goodell, Commissioner Goodell.
Roger Goodell?
We're just so excited to become officially a part of the Broncos. It's big day for us. Really exciting.
Doesn't know the commissioner's name?
He doesn't know the commissioner's name. It's embarrassing. But look, it's neither here nor there that this guy doesn't know anything about football. He does know about money. And let me tell you something. When Jerry Jones bought the Cowboys, we all knew he was a college football fan and everything else. But he's done a real good job with making money. And at the end of the day, it doesn't matter what the owner knows, as long as he's making money. When he sells that team, let's say 20 years from now, it'll be worth $15 billion. He bought it for $5 billion.
You gotta know the commissioner's name. Come on, Rob. Come on.
Hi, folks. Medicare Part C plans with extra benefits like getting money added back to your Social Security check may now be available to you in your zip code. Make sure you're not missing out. It's simple. 1, call the number on your screen. 2, they'll look up your zip code and see if you're eligible. 3, they'll check for plans with extra benefits like prescriptions, dental coverage, and the benefit that adds money back to your Social Security check every single month. Call now.
I called to get everything I deserve.
I called to check my zip code for a plan with a benefit that adds money back to my Social Security check.
I called to check my zip code.
Millions of people have called the Medicare Coverage Helpline. Call, check your zip code, see if you're eligible, and get what you deserve. Call now.
Call 1-800-810-7576. That's 1-800-810-7576 now.
You heard a screech outside at night, but you can't see what it is because there's not enough light. You need the Bionic Floodlight from Bell & Howell, the solar-powered, motion-activated, multi-directional floodlight, the versatile, wireless, safety, security, and outdoor lifestyle light you'll love. And right now, it's yours for just $29.99, and the shipping is free. Order now, and we'll send a second Bionic Floodlight. Just pay a separate fee. Here's how to order.
Call 1-800-604-7066 or order online at bionicfloodlight.com.
If you or a loved one has mesothelioma or any other asbestos-related cancer, call now. Asbestos manufacturers sold deadly asbestos materials to thousands of companies, putting workers at risk. An estimated $30 billion in court-ordered trusts have been set aside to pay out claims to asbestos victims. You may be entitled to a portion of these funds and receive compensation without filing a lawsuit or ever going to court.
For your free legal consultation, call 800-268-1371. That's 800-268-1371. I'm a non-attorney spokesperson.
Here's an important message from the Diabetes Solution Center. Diabetics understand all too well the pain of pricking your fingers. But now, by wearing a small remote device called a continuous glucose monitor, or CGM, you can immediately reduce your pain. It's easy to use and helps you make more accurate diabetes treatment decisions. If you are testing your blood sugar 4 or more times daily, injecting insulin 3 or more times daily, or using an insulin pump, call the Diabetes Solution Center right now
Attention! Do you owe more than $10,000 to the IRS? If so, you may qualify for the IRS Fresh Start program, so you won't have to make any payments to the IRS. That's right. If you qualify for the IRS's Fresh Start program, you won't make any IRS payments once you are accepted. Once you are in the IRS Fresh Start program, they must stop all harassing and threatening collection activities. Call Tax Relief today now at 800-382-1870 to see if you qualify. Again, 800-382-1870.
Street.
It's always exciting when we do Today in Carver High history.
It certainly is. 1934, Babe Ruth announced that it would be his final season as a full-time player. 71, Harmon Killebrew, 10th player to hit 500 home runs. 1975, Jack Nicklaus wins his 4th PGA championship. 1977, Phillies and the Expos play a doubleheader that ends at 3:23 a.m. on the East Coast. Look out! 1980, Nicklaus wins his 5th and final PGA championship. 81, Pete Rose breaks Stan Musial's National League hit record, 36-31. 84, USA beats Spain to win the men's gold medal in basketball. Jordan Ewing Mullen. And who was the coach, Scotty? Bobby Knight, the coach of the 84 Olympic team. 1986, Yankees retire Billy Martin, his number. 86, pitcher Bob Forsch hits a grand slam to lead the Cardinals in a win. 87, Kevin Gross, second player in 8 days to be ejected for scuffing the ball. Paul McGuire passed away. 1991. 1995, in the first MLB forfeit since the disco demolition, the Cards get a 2-1 win after Raul Mondesi and Tommy Lasorda get thrown out in the bottom of the 9th, and Dodger Stadium gets filled with balls that they gave out before the game. 97, Tony Phillips arrested after allegedly buying a small quantity of freebase cocaine in a motel in Anaheim. Jesus. 97, the Braves give Greg Maddux a 5-year, $57 million deal. Let's get to the audio. 2008, Phelps, gold, 400-meter relay, Beijing. Here we go.
We mentioned that this race would set the table for Michael Phelps. He was worried. Everybody was worried, but no problem for Michael Phelps. New world record and gold medal #1 of these Beijing Games.
He was
there you go.
By the way, the freebase cocaine is also known as crack.
Tony Phillips. I mean, come on now. The Lakers got Dwight Howard for the first time in 2012 with a trade from the Magic. There you go.